Hey gardeners, Amy here with Garden Up. Today I'm going to show you how to program an Ace brand programmable water timer. I am currently overseeding my lawn with clover and yarrow, and I'm doing this because I don't have an irrigation system in my yard. And with these things that you have to remember to turn on, I don't remember to turn them on. They're useless. And they break after a year or two anyway, and I've had that one for 2 years. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna break on me sometime this year. So I'm done with those. I've upgraded to one of these. I've been using these at a few clients' places for several years now because this way I know that their lawns are gonna germinate and not die because somebody forgot to turn on the water a couple of times a day. So I really like these. I don't know how long they last because I haven't seen one break yet. So stand by on that one. So first, let me show you how to program it. Pick this one up at Ace. I think it was like 65 bucks or something like that. These are very simple. The gist is you put the program in, you screw this onto your faucet. Thank you. You screw the hoses in, okay, and then you just let it do its thing. It takes some batteries, but it didn't say how many on the package it needs, so I grabbed 4 double A's. I'm pretty sure it's a double A. For this part, I found a nice, cool, shady spot in my yard because it does take a minute to set these things. And as frequent as I'm going to run it, it's going to take me a while to input it. But it's very simple. The instructions are in the package. It's all around this window here. Set clock, water day, start water, how long, and then you set it to auto to run. Really easy. And you can also manually override on off with these buttons down here so that if you just need to water a section for a little while, you can do that. Or if you just want to hand water something, you can totally do that with a separate zone. So these are pretty nifty. I mean, if you don't want to go through the expense of putting in a permanent irrigation system, these are a decent alternative and you'll get a couple years out of them. The little timers that you twist, I've been lucky to get more than 1 or 2 years out of each of those, but they're like 15 bucks a piece. So it's not terrible if they don't last. It's more frustrating because they tend to not turn off. So you overwater everything and you pay for it in your water bill, unfortunately. But anyway, so I'm going to get started on this because she's let go of it. Oh, 2 double A's. This was covered up by the instructions in the package, so I only need 2. Yay. So pop this out. This is probably the worst part of this particular timer is getting the battery pack off. You have to squeeze this together. I just don't have the finger strength for that. I usually bring a pair of pliers. Got it. Dear Ace, make this easier. Okay, put your batteries in. Oh, can you hand me that? Where did it go? Thank you. Good girl. Okay, batteries are in. It does matter which way it goes in. There are terminals over here. This side has to touch the terminals. And poof, we have light on the front. Clicking and doing things. And you can have this cuteness in the background. Okay, so set clock is what it's on right now. Today is Monday. Time is 2:24 p.m. 5 by the time I finish now. Okay. And then if you keep hitting OK, it keeps flashing between those two things because you have to hit this arrow triangle button up here to go to the next thing. So water day, Sunday, zone 1. All right. So see how Sunday's flashing? I hit OK. You have to do it firmly. When that box is around it, it's selected. Hit the plus sign to move to Monday. I am starting a new lawn, so I want to water every day of the week, 2 to 3 times a day. Okay, so there I've selected all 7 days out of the week. Now I'm going to hit the triangle button, and this is in zone 1, by the way. Make sure to pay attention to your zones. Triangle button to start. Let's do a 6 a.m. Okay, 6 a.m. Okay. So each zone can have 4 cycles, means you could turn this thing on 4 times a day if you wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and do 4 times a day for 10 minutes rather than 2 or 3 times for 15. And my reasoning for that is because it is getting warmer. It's already the second half of May as I'm doing this. So I'm kind of running up against the very end of my window to get this stuff germinated. So I want to keep that soil moist while the seeds are germinating, which is really hard to do when it gets to 80 degrees during the day. So it's not ideal to be watering in the middle of the day, but that's what we're going to have to do. So I'll do 6 a.m., a 10 a.m., a 2 p.m. There we go. All right. Now I have zone 1. The start times are set. Next, I'm going to hit the triangle button to cycle to the how long. I want to go 10 minutes. Okay, that's all I need. Cycle again, it goes to auto. It is now turned on. But I want to do another zone. So I'm going to go cycle, cycle, cycle. Zone 2. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing, but I have to pick a slightly different start time. Otherwise, they're going to overlap and they're not going to work. For my hose, I'm not going to have enough pressure. All 7 days of the week. Zone 2, cycle again, start A. I'm going to do 6:30 so that when I adjust this later, I don't have to change every time. So 6:30, 10:30, 2:30, and 4th. All right, and that's all. We are done. Oh, how long? 10 minutes. Auto is now set to turn on. So now I go plug it into my faucet, and I need to make sure that that faucet is turned on and left on. So the actual on turny doohickey, that's the technical term, is always in the on position. If anybody ever turns it off, this won't do anything. It'll open, but water won't go through it. Now that it's programmed, I'm just going to plug it into my faucet right here. So I need to take off the hose that's already on it. Okay. And screw this on instead. Now, each one of these outgoing nozzles is its own zone. So, zone 1 is my main zone over there where most of my seed is going to be. So, let me get the hose for that. I have quick connectors in all of my hoses, but I don't need these for this. So, I'm going to take the quick connector out. Just for the record, I'm using 0G hoses. I don't use the pocket hose anymore just because they changed something about their hoses and they just don't work as well. So I've swapped out, I've still got a couple of them laying around, but I've swapped out a lot of my pocket hoses for 0G. I like them a lot better. That hose is just like 4 feet too short, so I have to use my extension hose. Whatever, we'll get there. Make sure not to cross thread these. You will destroy that zone. Just plastic. So that's a downside with these timers is that the screw threads are plastic, and if you cross thread them, they're just done. They're ruined. So, okay, my hoses are set up. Turn them on manually so that I can make sure that the water's getting exactly where I want to. Now, whenever this is on your faucet and you want it to run, you have to have the faucet open. Apparently, zone 3 is on. There we go. That's where we're going to turn on zone 2 manually. Ready? So on off manual, select the zone. I want zone 2, so that's going to be this button. Zone 2. We'll run it for 5 minutes. Okay. Boom. There it is. Okay. So these sprinklers are terrible. Don't waste your money on them. Seriously. They look really cool, but do you see how it's spraying out of the connection there? That happens straight out of the box. It's like the gasket was missing, but the gasket is not missing. The gasket is there. It's just, it leaks, and it's dumb. I don't know why. I've tried everything I know of to fix that, but it just doesn't. But for a temporary thing like this, I'll put up with it so I can just get this done, and then I'll throw it away probably. Anyway, all right, so I've got a little bit of overspray on the other area. That's fine. It's covering from wall to wall where I need it to water. And I'm going to have a lake in the middle every time because of that leak. But there it is, whatever. Okay, I think we're good. Some things to note about these. I need to keep frequent watch on this kind of thing, especially with these manual broadcast spreaders, because they could get bumped, they could get tripped on, the dog could run over it and move it. Anything can knock it into a position that's not where it needs to be, in which case your seedlings would theoretically dry up. Some of them would because they wouldn't be getting their water. So I have to keep an eye on this. I also have to make sure that the faucet stays on. but at least the actual turning on and off won't be left to chance anymore because my memory is not gonna remember to come out here 2 to 3 times a day to turn this on. So it's gonna take care of that part for me. I'm very excited for that because I might actually have a successful lawn this year. All right, so thanks for watching that video, everybody. I hope you learned something and it was valuable to you. If you liked it, remember hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe so you get more gardening content in your video feed every week. On that note, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the garden.